The new Wegovy pill is now available through Weight Watchers. Powerful GLP-1 results in a simple pill at the lowest price available. And with Weight Watchers, you can get doctor support and personalized nutrition programs. See if you qualify at weightwatchers.com. Ad not reviewed or approved by Novo Nordisk.
Carvana's so easy, just a click, and we've got ourselves a car. See?
So many cars. That's a click-tastic inventory.
And check out the financing options. Payments to fit our budget. I mean, that's...
Clickonomics 101.
Delivery to our door.
Just a hop, skip, and a click away.
And bought.
No better feeling than when everything just clicks. Buy your car today on Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.
Paranormal experiences don't really work to a timescale, and therefore we invite you to listen to a Dark Minisode. Hello everyone, and welcome to the final Dark Minisode of this season. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This season for me has been two things. One, my favourite thus far, and two, exceptionally quick. I cannot believe the finale is Friday. It seems to have come upon us faster than any finale before. But today's minisode isn't so mini. So, we're going to jump right into it. But before we do, a quick reminder that after our finale, we will have our 3-week standard break. And of course, we are giving away our free weeks tier at our highest level on Patreon. So if you click below in the show notes, not only will you find your own submission link where you can submit your own story for next season, but you will also find a link to our Patreon, where during that downtime in play, you can listen to the back catalogue of Dark Bites, the Patreon-only podcast that goes out every Sunday of the year, where we spend 30 minutes a week discussing the shorter experiences that we've received. And that back catalogue is now over 200 hours of Patreon-only experiences. Plus, you will gain access to the new Patreon show After Dark, where I discuss what we've discussed the previous week. So, as I say, whether it be to become one of our community and join our Patreon, or to submit your own experience for next season, head down to the show notes or go direct to patreon.com/thedarkparanormal, or to submit a story, go to thedarkparanormal.com and click on Submit My Experience. But right now, for the final time this season, it's that time of the week where I ask you to find some time for yourself, make a nice drink, relax, and join me as we listen to Haunted or Summoned. Now, although our writer does give their own trigger warning, I will also give one myself so you're not caught unawares. Topics do get touched on which may trigger some people, such as self-harm, drug abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, and suicidal thoughts. But what I will say is our writer does a perfect job of minimizing the descriptive elements. So although these things are touched on, in the truest sense, they are touched on. And so, with my trigger warning out the way, let's begin. Hello, Kevin. I'm writing today as I've been listening to the podcast for a little over a year. I've always been interested in the paranormal and supernatural, so I've been contemplating my experiences and seeing if they were worthy of submission. After hearing your voice saying to send any experience, no matter the length, I finally listened. I forced myself to sit down, focus, and officially write out the experiences I've previously kept silent. My name is Mars, and I live in the United States. I'm 23 years old now, but the experiences I will mention today all happened when I was a child. I'll do my best to go in chronological order, as that helps me to piece together everything that's happened. I'll preface with a small trigger warning. There are mentions of heavy topics, such as abuse, mental health, etc., but I will exclude any detail. To begin, I've always been a sensitive person, somehow in tune with my surroundings and environment. I went through a lot of trauma at a very young age, including domestic violence, sexual assault, neglect, deportation with the loss of a parent, substance abuse, and poverty. I think this is incredibly important to mention because I truly believe the negative things my family and I were experiencing invited a dark energy or spirit. I've also recognized many experiences I've listened to on this show have neurodivergent folks. I have ADHD, or people facing hardships, and it makes me want to explore that connection more. So, back to my sensitivities. Aside from being extremely hypervigilant about others and my surroundings, these feelings have always told me something. Whether it's that a person is bad news, whether something is going to happen, or that a certain park is a warm, safe place. These good feelings have always been weirdly right. Even when I acted against them, tried to rationalize them and explain them away, my intuition knows what I felt, saw, and heard was real. I say this because for so long, I tried to tell myself that what I had experienced was caused through stress, overactive imagination, trauma, etc. But what if what I went through in life invited the paranormal things that I'd see or hear, making me more aware of them all around? Even as a toddler, I would see dark shadows everywhere. In public, at my grandma's house, my own house, etc. They never had faces or even looked like a human body. They looked like large black masses. The mass itself was moving, as if you dropped a pebble in still water and saw the waves ripple. Well, that's how the figure's shape was moving. Moving, but not like anything human or even mammal. It moved like liquid. They could be standing or even hanging in the corners of rooms or walls. Recalling it now, these figures were something I'd always see in the corner of a room or space, as if they didn't want to be seen, or were hiding in my peripheral vision. I stopped seeing these figures when I was around 6 years old. They never spoke or reached out to me in any way. I would just see them. At first, they scared me, but after a while I ignored them. However, there was one incident where I saw this figure again when I was 8 or 9. Fast forward to when I'm maybe 9, I'm living with my mum and her new boyfriend in a new apartment after my dad was unfortunately deported. My mum's and the new boyfriend's relationship was awful, fueled by their codependent drug addiction, and there was constant violence and fighting. Also, my mum was a hoarder. She never cleaned and rarely took care of me. I was very aware of what was happening with my mum, and I unfortunately internalized her addiction, trying my best to be the perfect, independent, strong, no-problem child. However, this meant I also didn't bring up any of my problems, my challenges or stresses, because I didn't want to stress my mum out. So when I saw this figure again in the new apartment, I did what I knew to be best, and never told anyone. The apartment we lived in was a 1-bedroom with the restroom in the bedroom. If you walk out the restroom and turn right to walk straight through the bedroom door, you're then in the living room area. At the end of the living room, we had a large hutch with a mirror backing. So when you'd walk into the living room, you would see yourself walking. We had some photos in the hutch, but the top portion of the mirror, or where the top shelf would be, was empty. So you would just see the top of your head. Anyway, as I was just walking out of the restroom into the living room, while my mum was cooking in the kitchen, I remember feeling odd, like I wasn't alone where I stood, yet I heard her cooking in the kitchen due to the pots and pans. I didn't think much of it and kept walking, until I caught a glance at the mirror in the hutch. And behind me, I saw that same black blob shape. This one was tall and stood right next to the door that I just came out of. Being that it was in the doorway between the two rooms, I freaked out and ran into the living room/kitchen area where my mum was. I remember her asking me what happened and why I ran, but I didn't tell her because I was scared. I can't remember the excuse I gave, but I will never forget the fear of seeing that black blob moving behind me. We only lived in that apartment for a year, but the domestic violence, child abuse, and substance abuse remained rampant. I say this to stress the constant negativity in our life seemed to welcome this thing. I don't think the apartment itself was haunted. Anyway, once we moved out, I told my mum what happened and how I felt uncomfortable in the apartment. She also believed in the paranormal, so she believed me, thankfully. But then she said she felt watched in there, and it was unsettling for her to be there alone. We also had a family friend stay over one night, who told my mum that he randomly woke up in the middle of the night. He was sleeping on the couch in our living room when he saw the door open slowly but no one come out. Then he encountered a bout of sleep paralysis. He couldn't move or make a sound, and felt scared despite there not being anyone or anything that came out through the door. Granted, sleep paralysis sounds so scary to experience. I, too, would be freaked out if I woke up, saw a door open, and couldn't move. Nevertheless, it was just a weird, dark, and uncomfortable energy we all felt.
Today's episode of The Dark Paranormal is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it. So your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Companies and affiliates' potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you know the 8th of March is International Women's Day, a day to celebrate women everywhere, recognizing just how much they do each and every day. I lost my mother at a young age, which some would say is misfortune, but it got me to know my nan who brought me up as a better person, and the strength she shone through in my sister, who she brought up also, and she's now the strong matriarch of a family of her own. And believe me, the absolute seeming ease that she holds together her family can be so easy to overlook, as we sadly still have that stigma of, well, that's a woman's job, that's what a mother's meant to do, etc. But the emotional well-being of the women in our life can easily be overlooked. And therapy offers a safe space that they can take care of themselves in a way they deserve. And gentlemen, just stop and think about those unseen expectations they wake to daily. Their happiness isn't just a good thing, it's essential. And therapy can help create balance, set healthy boundaries, and support overall well-being for everyone. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. A quick questionnaire will help identify your needs and preferences. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. Your emotional well-being matters, so find some support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com.
This is the new Weight Watchers, built for real life and real results, no matter what mode you're in. Maddie went all in for her big day and lost 33 pounds. Emily lost 85 pounds and hit her goal while still living her life.
Weight Watchers gave me the tools and I feel amazing.
Join the millions of members and lose weight with the #1 doctor-recommended weight loss program. Lose more at WeightWatchers.com.
At 6 months, participants in a clinical trial of Weight Watchers program lost an average of 12 pounds.
After living in the apartment, my mum, my new baby brother, and I moved back to my grandma's house. This house was, unfortunately, another highly dysfunctional place. Fights between adults, between kids, drug abuse, neglect, even gang violence were not uncommon. My mum eventually abandoned me while she chased her boyfriend, their new baby, and the drugs. I felt extremely alone, isolated, neglected. It worsened my mental health as a child who was already engaging in self-harm. I had my own room at my grandma's house, which was a double-edged sword. Yes, I could escape the chaos outside, but then I was trapped in this room. The room that used to be my mum's, ruminating about my existence in this life. I had an old TV, one of those big box ones that had a huge back. I also had a large window right above my bed that is wood on wood. So when you open the window, it creates almost a rumbling sound. The window also does not have a lock, and these are very significant to my next experience. I'm now at the age of maybe 10 or 11. So being that I was a kid with my own room and my own TV, I loved to watch TV, especially at night when the Disney Channel would play old movies like Luck of the Irish. I know this specific movie because it was playing the night this experience occurred. But this TV would turn on by itself in the middle of the night to grey static white noise. I'd rationalise this as a kid, thinking, it's an old TV. It must be some wiring inside. Or maybe it's set to a sleep timer. Not that I knew what one of those was. Well, this was one of those nights when my TV burst onto grey static. I had a cheap wannabe BlackBerry phone at this time, and I remember grabbing that first. It wasn't uncommon for my adult family members to come and use my phone when I fell asleep. So I was used to checking for it first. I saw the time was 3:03 a.m. Then I reached for the remote and decided to watch a little TV to drift off back to bed. As I'm lying in bed, which is directly under the large window in my room, I hear the window start sliding open due to that distinct rumble sound. My freeze response kicked in. I was absolutely frozen in bed. And then I hear a male voice whisper my name. Oddly, it then told me it had flowers for my mum. I didn't dare look up to see who or what was out there. All I could think about was unlocking my door and running out. I don't know how it came over me, but I jumped up out of bed, ran to my door, unlocked it and ran straight to my aunt's room down the hall to sleep with her. Again, I never told anyone about this until years later, because I was afraid and I didn't know what my family would say. The last experience I had pertained to someone else's experience. I was still living at my grandma's house. This time I was talking to my uncle's girlfriend in my room. It was Easter, and I'd just given her a chocolate bunny, which she set on a shelf beside her. We were talking about how my uncle, her boyfriend, had just experienced sleep paralysis the night before and saw a huge black mass on the ceiling whilst he couldn't move or say anything. He was terrified and woke her up as soon as he could move. But she wasn't surprised. His girlfriend, I'll call her Katie, then begins to tell me how she's been haunted her whole life. And her experience has stuck with me all these years. She told me that when she was a little girl, she dreamt her neighbours violently killed her cat. In her dream, she went to tell her mum and dad, and as she walked in to tell them, they're talking, and their apartment caught fire due to an accident in the laundry room. She woke up crying, ran to her parents, and they reassured her it was okay, it's just a nightmare. Yet, a week later, what happened in Katie's dream happened in real life. Her cat was killed by her neighbours. As she went to tell her parents, they were talking and an electrical fire from the laundry room spread through their apartment. Following this, some type of entity became attached to Katie. She said it would say things to her, physically hurt her, like pulling her. But mostly it would move things in her home. Keep in mind, she was an active drug user, so I didn't know how much of her story was real. What got me was when she said everyone thought she was crazy until her mum and brother saw firsthand some dishes on a shelf fly directly into the middle of the room, then fall to the floor and shatter with no explanation. Honestly, I thought she was just trying to scare me, so of course, I teasingly said, "I want to see that too." Not even 2 seconds later, the chocolate bunny which I gave her, which she'd set on the shelf a few shelves up, went flying across the room. There is no way she threw it because I was facing her and she was facing me, sitting next to the shelf. I clearly saw with my own 2 eyes that the chocolate bunny went flying and got stuck under the door on the other side of the room. I remember she kind of laughed and was like, "There you go." I was freaked out, but I totally believed her after that moment. It honestly made me scared of my own room too. That was the last experience I clearly saw or heard something, and my sightings dwindled as I got older, and once I moved out of that house. I will admit that I still see things randomly out of the corner of my eye. It's never something I can definitively say if it's a figure again, but there are fleeting shadows. I don't know if they're good or bad, I just try to ignore them. I think getting away from the negativity spared me from any other contact. Though I still experienced traumas after moving away from Grandma's, I realised that it was only after losing my mum to her drug addiction that everything kind of started making sense to me. I had a dream about her shortly after she passed, essentially begging her to take me away with her. I was suicidal and depressed. The grief I felt was overbearing, yet this dream felt so real. My mum didn't say anything. She caressed my hand and looked at me lovingly. In that moment, it felt like she saw how much I needed her to protect me in real life. How much I needed her to see how not okay I was. After that dream, I felt a sense of protection that I think is my mum. My car license plate is, coincidentally, the date she passed. So I feel she protects and guides me in small, almost unnoticeable ways. Perhaps it's what I've told myself to feel a sense of peace. But it's what works for me. She loved hummingbirds and butterflies, so whenever they get close to me, I like to think that's her way of saying hello. I'm still here, I'm still watching over you. I find it true when they say the less attention you give, the more power you take away. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing my experiences. I truly think it's a testament to intersectionality at its core, and how paranormal experiences are included in that. If this makes it out there, thank you for hearing me out, and stay safe everyone. Best, Mars. Well, Mars, thank you so much for giving us our final Dark Minisode for this season. There is quite a lot to unpack there in regards to your entire experiences from your childhood, and it's something that, I always say this, but would take a full episode to pick apart. I'm really looking forward to doing so on an upcoming After Dark, but for everyone, until next season, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on our very next minisode in season 24.
Some days you want a little extra oomph to your usual look. Whether that's lashes for days with the viral Liquid Lash Extensions mascara, or awakening your eyes with a lasting lift and soft color with the Brilliant Eye Brightener, Thrive Cosmetics is your go-to when you want to amplify your everyday look. Whether you want a simple, just got to get out of the door routine, or full glam, you'll always look and feel like the best version of yourself with Thrive Cosmetics. Plus, every product is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and made with clean, skin-loving ingredients that work with your skin, not against it. And for every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates to help communities thrive. So every time you use your favorite Thrive Cosmetics product, you're helping communities you care about, too. Amplify your everyday. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/shine26 for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/shine26.